You're welcome to the news at 7 on NTAi International. I'm Bintu Ali Simono. Here are the headlines. Federal government directs payment of workers' salaries to enable them travel to participate in Saturday's polls. President Buhari swears in new permanent secretaries, says Nigeria needs vibrant, professional and selfless servants to overcome her present challenges. Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai directs officers whose loyalty is in doubt to resign within 3 days. The news in full. The federal government has ordered the immediate payment of February salary to its civil servants across the country. This is to make it easy for those that have to travel for the purpose of exercising their franchise in the rescheduled general elections. Information Minister Lai Mohammed announced this while briefing newsmen after the meeting of the Federal Executive Council. State House correspondent Adam Sambo reports that the council also applauded the various corporate organizations for their magnanimous undertakings in support of the electoral process.
Without doubt, the postponement of elections by INEC few hours before the commencement of voting disappointed many, particularly those who traveled long distances for the exercise. Notwithstanding their commitment to exercising their civic duties, some Nigerians, especially the less privileged, might be forced to drop the idea due to the high cost of transportation, but not anymore. Apart from the salary payment ordered by the federal government, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, National Union of Road Transport Workers, and some airline operators have also taken measures towards easing movements by Nigerians to vote. The Federal Executive Council meeting, presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari, appreciated such patriotic gestures by the corporate organizations, as explained by the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed.
The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, with over 50,000 members and who control about 80% of all petroleum distribution network, they announced a reduction of the price of petroleum motor spirit from 145 naira per liter to 140 per liter. This discount, I think, reflects the alignment of IPMAN with government, and the discount is valid between the 21st of February and the 25th of February this year. Also, the National Union of Road Transport Workers offered to provide discount to travelers using their motor parks and members who are looking to travel to their respective voting points. ARIC and Aero Airlines have also thrown in their own incentives. Aero Contractors has offered a 50% discount to all travelers who present their permanent voters card. ARIC Airlines will be selling their one-way tickets at 16,000 to any destination across the country.
Members of the council also expressed delight over the recent report on the nation's economic growth by the National Bureau of Statistics for the fourth quarter of last year. Minister of Budget and National Planning, Udoma, briefed the council on the report, indicating the strongest economic performance by Nigeria so far since exiting recession. It shows, amongst others, an enhanced real GDP growth by 2.38%, driven principally by the non-oil sector, which grew by 2.7%. Services sector also recorded its best performance in 11 quarters, growing by 2.96%.
Very heartwarming statistics for the government. It shows that the policies of the government are working. The economy is on a path of growth. Of course, we're not where we ultimately want to get to, but all the indices are very positive, and it shows the impact of the releases, the funds we've been releasing into the economy.
The Federal Executive Council is particularly delighted that 39 out of 49 economic activities in Nigeria recorded significant growth, amongst them agriculture and manufacturing, which grew by 2.46 and 2.3% respectively. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTAi News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has pledged Nigeria's cooperation to ongoing efforts at reducing global oil output towards attracting high prices in the international market. This was while granting audience to the special envoy of King Salman bin Abdulaziz of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. State House correspondent Adam Sambu has the details.
President Muhammadu Buhari said as a responsible member of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries OPEC, Nigeria is willing to go along with the Saudi initiative in limiting output so that prices will go up. He explained that output cuts had always been difficult for Nigeria, considering the country's peculiar circumstances of large population, huge expanse of land, and state of underdevelopment. The president said, although Nigeria wish it can produce more, it is in the interest of the country to listen and cooperate with other players in the critical economic sector, and promised to call for the latest production figures. As he puts it, during the closed-door meeting, higher oil prices will make both Nigeria and Saudi Arabia stronger and their citizens more prosperous. He commended King Salman for his leadership in global oil matters, saying Nigeria will continue to accord respect to the kingdom in that regard. The Special Envoy and Minister of State for African Affairs, Ahmad Katan, had told the president that both King Salman and the Crown Prince are expressing their best wishes for Nigeria as the country goes into general elections. He said Saudi Arabia had reduced its output by 1.4 million barrels per day to ensure that prices went up, stressing, however, that the kingdom alone cannot bring stability to the oil market and show up prices. The Special Envoy said King Salman is calling for greater adherence to production cuts by Nigeria and hope that he will take a positive message back home. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTAi News.
Still remaining with the State House, President Muhammadu Buhari has described as disheartening and counterproductive the way few privileged individuals in Nigeria were significantly enriched following systematic abuse of power over the decades, thereby making the nation's majority poorer and underserved. Speaking at the swearing-in of the newly appointed permanent secretaries, the president said, more than ever, the country needs vibrant, professional and selfless servants to overcome her present challenges. State House correspondent Adam Sambu once again has the details.
Eight new permanent secretaries took oath of office to fill existing vacancies in the Federal Civil Service. Amongst them, Abel Olumiyewa Enitong from Osun State, Dr. Mohammed Kyari Dikwa, Borno, Dr. Ajani Magdalene Nwawuche, Delta, and Festus Yusuf Dauda, Nasarawa. The rest are Maurice Namdi Bayeri, Imo, Dr. Bakari Wadinga, Adamawa, Babatunde Lawal, Lagos, and Ernest Afolabi, Umahihi, Edo State. President Muhammadu Buhari, who congratulated the appointees for their remarkable achievements, however, reminded them that the positions they now occupy come with a lot of responsibilities.
As politicians, we develop policies and provide strategic direction for the nation. However, the task of implementing these policies and strategies rests in the hands of the civil service under the able guidance of the permanent secretaries. Therefore, I wish to take this opportunity to solicit your support and cooperation as we implement all the programs of government in a result-oriented manner that will leave an indelible legacy. In doing this, you must all remain above board and eschew partisanship in your decisions and actions. You must strive to achieve excellence at all times. Your motto should be civility and serviceability.
The president lamented how successive administrations in the country abused, undermined, and destroyed the systems of checks and balances in the civil service meant to protect and preserve the interests of the citizenry. Consequently, he said Nigerians lost confidence in government and its ability for guidance and effective service delivery.
As you settle into your new roles and postings as permanent secretaries, we expect you will also key into the administration's programs aimed at reforming Nigeria and restoring the confidence of Nigerians in government and the civil service. To enable you to achieve this, we approved the Federal Civil Service Strategy and Implementation Plan 2017 to 2020. When fully implemented, we would have successfully transformed the civil service into an efficient, productive, incorruptible, and citizen-centered machinery of government.
While wishing the new permanent secretaries a successful tenure, President Muhammadu Buhari reaffirmed his administration's commitment to the welfare of civil servants and at all times capacity building in the civil service. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTAi News.
Moving on, Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Onyama has met heads of diplomatic missions and international organizations accredited to Nigeria for an interaction on the rescheduled presidential and National Assembly elections. The minister assured the world that the Buhari administration remains committed to elections that will meet international standards. Foreign Desk correspondent Makut Simon Macham reports.
Nigeria's elections are significant not only for Nigerians but for the world at large, primarily because of the place the country occupies in the international community. This is why ahead of the rescheduled presidential and National Assembly elections this Saturday, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyama, convened an interactive session with heads of diplomatic missions and international organizations accredited to Nigeria to give them an update on the elections. He is joined by the Acting Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Adamu, and INEC Chairman, who is represented by National Commissioner, Dr. Mustapha Leki. The minister expressed government's disappointment over the rescheduling of the elections, but assured the international community that the Buhari administration remains committed to a process that will produce free, fair, and credible outcome.
Most importantly, Mr. President and all Nigerians absolutely demand that on Saturday, elections should be held. We cannot accept, and we will not accept, any excuses or any other reason. They have to be held on Saturday, and nothing less will be acceptable to government, and indeed, I'm sure, to Nigerians.
For INEC and the police, the interaction provided another opportunity to respond to some concerns raised by the diplomats and the media on the state of readiness for Saturday's rescheduled elections.
We have no reason to feel that anything will go wrong. We've received all the materials. They have been checked, audited. People have been informed, deployed by Friday to the Iraq. An election will definitely happen on Saturday morning.
We are going to be professional. We are going to be impartial, and we create a enabling environment for all the political parties.
Permanent Secretary at the Foreign Affairs Ministry, Ambassador Mustafa Suleiman, assured the diplomats that the ministry is available to provide any window required for engagement on the elections. The heads of mission accredited to Nigeria might be leaving the Ministry of Foreign Affairs better informed on the preparations for the rescheduled elections come Saturday. However, they have indicated through the interaction that they will continue to monitor the process even after the votes are counted. From the Foreign Affairs Headquarters in Abuja, Makut Simon Macham, NTAi News.
And on the security, of the election. During the election, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur, has directed officers whose loyalty is in doubt to resign within 3 days. The Army Chief gave the directive while addressing officers at a meeting preparatory to the February 23 rescheduled 2019 elections. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
These are principal officers and commanders at an expanded critical meeting to appraise security measures in place for the rescheduled 2019 elections.
The unity of Nigeria.
The Army Chief directed commanders to maintain a proactive posture and conduct regular patrol to tackle any election crime in view of the recent reactions from members of the society.
Should any officer or soldier have doubts as to his loyalty to the Nigerian state as presently constituted, such a person has up to the 22nd of this month to resign. There is no room for indiscipline or disobedience to lawful orders in the Nigerian Army today.
While the Army remains apolitical and professional, General Buratai advised politicians not to smear the integrity of the formation.
Direct and public incitement of the Nigerian military against democracy and constituted authority will not be tolerated. I request such persons that make such statements to withdraw these inciting statements.
Commanders are to key into the election situation room for prompt delivery of security reports of their areas of responsibility. The Army Chief also commended President Muhammadu Buhari for its unflinching support to the fighting formation towards achieving its constitutional mandate. From the Nigerian Army headquarters in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTAi News.
Thank you, Ismail. You're watching the news on NTAi International, reaching you from Abuja. Stay tuned for more news after the break.
The UN compound houses about 400 employees. The Nigerian capital Abuja is still reeling from Monday morning's rush hour bomb.
If the group did carry out the attack, it would be one of its worst.
2 suicide bombings in Nigeria. One targeted a convoy carrying Nigeria's main opposition leader.
Gun attack on the central mosque in North Nigeria's biggest city, Kano.
21 people have died in a large explosion at the Banex Plaza shopping centre in the capital, Abuja.
Islamist extremists brought Christmas carnage to churches across Nigeria.
And you want me to sustain a move. Vote APC. 4+4 now 8 and nothing fit to change a move. Vote APC.
Shall next level be the vision for the nation, oh.
Vote APC.
We no go stop to fight corruption, that one not for sure, oh.
Vote APC. I am a lele, I am a lele. If you want to sweep jati jati, show me your broom, oh. I am a lele, I am a lele. If you want to sweep yama yama, show me your broom, oh.
I am a lele, I am a lele. For quality education, show me your broom, oh. I am a lele, I am a lele. Security in our nation, show me your broom, oh.
Sure you don't hear about the trade.
Now let's continue with election reports, where the Independent National Electoral Commission has commenced the redistribution of sensitive materials to local government areas in 10 states of the Federation. The states, according to the national chairman of the commission, Professor Yakubu Mahmoud, are Adamawa, Anambra, Benue, Ekiti, Jigawa, Katsina, Ogun, Osun, Oyo, and Taraba. The chairman said reconfiguration of smart card reader has reached 100% completion across the country.
The challenge that security poses, particularly when you have personnel and materials on the high seas. It is for that reason that we have always made arrangement with the police, and sometimes with the Navy and the Army as well, to provide gunboats in addition to the boats that carry our personnel and materials to locations.
He said the Commission has also put in place adequate security for ad hoc staff as well as the welfare of youth corps members that will participate in the exercise. Still talking security during the election, the National Youth Service Corps has urged the Independent National Electoral Commission to keep to its pledge of ensuring the safety and welfare of all corps members deployed as ad hoc staff for the general elections. NYSC Director General Major General Suleiman Kazauri made the plea in an exclusive interview with Online Culture.
Making reference to the uninspiring pictures and tales of woes experienced by many youth corps members assigned to INEC duty in several states across the country on the eve of the postponed general elections, Director General of NYSC says it is against the Memorandum of Understanding signed by the two organizations. To ensure this does not repeat itself, the NYSC management visited the Independent National Electoral Commission, where the commission assured the scheme that adequate arrangements have been made.
And they promised to improve on the welfare of our corps members, especially in our registration area center, that is our RACs.
The Director General also commented on the safety of youth corps members.
I want to assure the general public, the parents in particular, that the corps members' welfare is one of the top priority. So we will make sure that the welfare and safety is paramount.
INEC assured the management of the scheme that it has commenced payments of training and feeding allowances to corps members nationwide. Online Culture, NTAi News.
And farmers' associations across the country are mobilizing their members to come out in mass and vote President Muhammadu Buhari despite the shift in the election by the INEC to Saturday, February 23. This follows the endorsement of President Buhari as unanimous candidate by the rice and farmers and maize farmers associations, comprising about 20 million members. Musa Baba Aliyu has the details.
There are 12.2 million registered rice farmers in Nigeria, currently benefiting from the federal government Rice Revolution program. The group, apart from adopting President Muhammadu Buhari as its presidential candidate, is also mobilizing other farmers to see the need for continuity in the agricultural revolution that has lifted the socio-economic status of farmers. The group believes that the re-election of the president will ensure Nigeria's self-sufficiency in food production.
This present administration has been supporting rice production or general agricultural production in Nigeria. It's not only about rice, it's about virtually all the commodities in the country.
Maize farmers, on the other hand, are mobilizing 5 million votes for President Muhammadu Buhari. Bello Abubakar Funtua is the president of the association. He is optimistic that the re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari would move the nation from overdependence on crude oil.
Today, we are here to express all the progress and the achievements that we have gone so far under this present administration and to show our total pledged support for the coming election 2019. That is our total support to President Muhammadu Buhari.
Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association is another group canvassing more votes for President Muhammadu Buhari. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTAi News.
And from the financial sector, here is Rachel Shaibu.
A warm welcome to Business News. Data on electronic payment system in Nigeria indicates that transactions valued at 39.15 trillion naira were recorded in the fourth quarter of 2018. This was contained in the report of National Bureau of Statistics, which also indicates that instant payment transactions dominated the volume of transactions recorded at 23.57 trillion naira. The total value of credit allocated by the bank stood at 15.13 trillion naira, while oil and gas as well as manufacturing sectors got credit allocation of 3.55 trillion naira and 2.23 trillion naira. In other news, South Africa has deposited its instruments on the ratification of the African Free Continental Trade Area. 22 ratifications are required for the agreement to enter into force, as the African Union hopes to achieve the required number of ratifications by March. To date, only 9 countries have deposited their instruments of AFCFTA ratification with the African Union Commission, and they are Ghana, Kenya, Rwanda, Niger, Chad, Guinea, Eswatini, Uganda, and Ivory Coast. I am Rachel Shaibu. Enjoy the rest of the news.
Next is news from other parts of the globe with Adebola Brooklyn-Sunday as our guide.
It's nice that you are joining us, and we begin with the political development in Uganda, where the country's ruling party has endorsed President Yoweri Museveni as its candidate for the 2021 elections. The development means the 74-year-old leader who came to power in 1986 will be running for a 6th term. His candidacy for Uganda's next election comes after he signed a 2017 bill that scrapped the presidential age limit of 75. In another development, an independent group consisting of Anna Sobri, Sarah Wallerstein, and Hedy Allen have quit party over Brexit to join ex-Labour MPs. In a joint statement, the 3 MPs said they had wanted their party to broaden its appeal to young people and reflect the diversity to British communities. Meanwhile, 2 prominent Roman Catholic Church cardinals, Borg and Brandmüller, have called on bishops to end their complicity and silence over cases of sexual abuse. They say the church has wrongly blamed the abuse of power by priests as the main cause of the scandals. I am Adebola Brooklyn-Sunday. Thanks for your time.
It's time to look at the weather prospects for tomorrow in Nigeria and other parts of the world. We're done with the news at 7. More reports come your way at 9 on the network service of the NTAi. I'm Bintu Aliu Sumono. Thank you for watching.